So I can, okay, you'll tell me when I've still got the 25 minutes or I've
So
got a shorter time.
you've got 25 minutes. Those are, I can't see others right now.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. It's awkward talking to, it's like I'm talking to myself. Uh,
I wish I could see everyone that is present, and that's why I also requested for recording for it to be recorded, and then we can have the a download copy
Sandra.
to
Hi,
share.
Sandra.
Yeah.
You guys are already live, so you can start with the session.
okay. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for allowing me this platform, Dr. Franklin. I really appreciate it. When you were asking on Facebook, like who wants to do this, I was like saying, okay, should I do it or shouldn't I do it? But I was like, you know what? I'm already in this social media industry, and this is the way for me to go out and market myself, but also be able to teach what I already know. So just a little bit about myself. My name is Sandra Akosile, and I am based here in South Africa. I'm married and I've got 3 kids. I'm actually a 9 to 5 mom. And why I call myself a 9 to 5 working boss mom is because I work in the corporate world. I'm a project manager in one of the biggest telecoms companies here in South Africa, and I also am actually an entrepreneur. I'm passionate about entrepreneurship. So me and my sister, we call ourselves Kingdom Mamapreneurs. So I've always been passionate about entrepreneurs, even when I was young. It's something that I think was passed on to me by my mother, God rest her soul. She was always an entrepreneur. She never worked a day in her life for anyone. She always used to work for herself. So I also figured out that, okay, you know what? The world has programmed us to wake up every day and go to a 9 to 5 job, which there's nothing wrong with that. But there should also be an extra activity that I should be able to do for myself. And another thing is I cannot rely on just having one stream of income, which is my 9 to 5 salary. So I decided to venture into other things. So besides my 9 to 5 job, I also teach people about how to do social media marketing. And I recently partnered up with my sister where we teach graphic designing, and we also do web hosting. And then I'm also a cryptopreneur. I teach people about cryptocurrency, how to invest in cryptocurrency, and how to actually leverage into cryptocurrency. And then the last thing that I also do is I just recently got into property, where it's property stock fells. So it's more like crowdfunding, but here in South Africa, we call them property stock fells. But today, my main task is obviously to talk about 2 things: social media marketing and about cryptocurrency. So I've got a few points that I've put down today. What I've learned over the time that I've been doing, it's just 1 year that I actually dived into social media marketing. And previously, when I was doing business, I was doing it the traditional way, whereby if you had to set up an appointment, you have to physically drive to that appointment. And when you physically drive time somewhere, it takes your time, it takes your finances, because you have to put fuel in your car, it takes your energy, it takes away a lot of things. And it was actually distracting me from my family, because I was trying to juggle my family, my husband, my children, my 9 to 5 job, and it's also trying to build a business. So it was not really working out. It was disrupting everything that was happening in my life. And thank God I actually got into a business with one of my coaches and a mentor and a dear friend. Her name is Sandra. So she started teaching me about social media marketing. And when I got into it, the first few things that I learned about social media marketing is that you are actually speaking to the whole world. You are in a global opportunity. And when you go through that route, there are certain, things that you need to learn for you to start marketing yourself or building your brand. Have you realized, When you look at people like Donald Trump and Oprah Winfrey, they never changed their names to other business names. They actually put their businesses out there by their name. So it's Oprah Winfrey, it's Donald Trump. So myself, I'm building my own brand for Sandra Akosile. So I need to ask you a question. What brand are you building for yourself? Even if you're working a 9 to 5, every single day we are actually building a brand. So on social media, I use Facebook and Instagram. The number one thing that you need to clean up is your profile. Just your profile picture alone speaks a lot to your audience. You need to have a picture where you're smiling. It needs to show your face, and it has to be a picture of you, not a picture of a dog or animals. I know some people are into animals and all that, or they're into, interested in other hobbies. But what I can tell you is when you start building your brand, you need to show your face. You need to have a proper profile picture. It doesn't have to be taken by a professional photographer. We all have smartphones these days. So as long as you have good lighting and somebody can see your smile and they can see your face, it makes your audience be able to relate with you. Okay. So once you build up your profile picture, that sends a message that you're becoming professional. The second thing is you need to have a banner. If you're building a brand or a product or a business, even if it's for yourself, if you're looking for a 9 to 5 job, I've realized that, or I found out when we're doing a research these days, that when you go out, you're looking for a visa, maybe to travel to the United States or to another country. These days, they actually check your Facebook or your social media profiles. So imagine your profile picture shows you drinking alcohol or just doing some funny stuff that is not professional. That can hinder you from getting your visa. So you also need to be careful about what you're saying out there, or what what you want people to know about you, and what you want people to know about yourself or about your brand. Okay. Then the next thing is you need to start identifying people that you want to do business with, people that you want to associate yourself with. So this speaks to the values of your business. Um, like I said, I'm a kingdom mamapreneur. I want to be able to go into the market and be in business with other kingdom minded people, people that are unashamed to say they are Christians, you know, because sometimes some people shy away in the business world to say that I love God or I love Jesus or I'm a born again. There's nothing wrong with that. You have to stand by your values and by your principles. And then you also need to have business partners that understand your values. So when you go out there, you need to start looking for your dream client. My sister and I always say you need to look for a dream client. What is a dream client? I'll give you an example of my dream client. A dream client would be somebody that works a 9 to 5 job, or that is self-employed, number one, or that goes to work and gets paid for their time. That is my dream client, because I understand what it means to go out every morning and work a job and be paid a salary, or be paid a certain amount of money for the time that you have put in. And if you don't put in that time, then you're not going to get paid. And that is the reality that we're in. So when I speak to my audience, I understand that person to say, you're working a 9 to 5 job, but you actually need an extra stream of income. How are you going to be able to get that stream of income? You need a business that doesn't disrupt your job, that doesn't disrupt maybe your family lifestyle, that doesn't disturb anything else that you might be doing. So that is where the social media marketing comes in. Okay, Franklin, I hope everybody can still hear me. If there's any comments, please or any questions, please put them in.
Yes,
Um,
I hear you. Yeah.
yeah. So on my second point, I just want to tell you something. How I met Dr. Franklin, it was actually through what? It was through social media via Facebook. I have not physically met him, but I met him via Facebook. So that is how powerful social media is. You can build your brand, and you can build business. You can start getting business partners through social media. So um, another third thing that I want to discuss is using your skills, which is your God-given talents. Yes, we gone to school, we have our degrees, our masters or our PhDs. But what I want to tell you is what I've realized on social media. Most people are, especially the influencers, they are using their skills, their talents that they've had, maybe even when they were younger, dreams that they had that I want to be so and so in life. They are using the skills that they were born with. Education is an added bonus. But what I can tell you, what you know since you were born, or what you know in your mind and what you can do with your hands or with your mind, can actually build a business or a brand for you. Let me give you an example. You know, people that make cakes, pastries, that bake cakes. I admire those women because I used to have a friend, but she has traveled back to Nigeria. She used to stay in South Africa. So she started asking me that, you know what, can you take me where I can go and buy my ingredients and where I can go and buy all those things that I used to decorate the cakes. So since that time, I actually understood the time that goes into baking a cake and, putting all that cream on top, which is called fondant, because you can put the normal cream and then you can put the fondant in, which takes a lot of time because that fondant allows you to build different shapes, different characters in a cake, and it takes time. So that's why sometimes you find that when they start charging you, they are charging you for the time it takes to do all that work. So what I'm trying to say is this lady did not learn how to bake cakes. She didn't go to school for it. She just learned it by herself. It was something that she loved doing. And when it comes to social media marketing, you need to start branding yourself with something that you know how to do. When you know how to do it, then you can start educating yourself, getting certified, and as an added value as well, you need to start doing what is called self-development, reading books, watching videos, also paying for coaches that are already in the industry that know about the industry that you want to get into. Okay, so added when I talk about people that have actually made it on social media, but they didn't even go to school for this type of social media marketing. I'm talking about people like Ray Higdon. They are based in the United States. Talking about somebody that is called Eric Worre. He recently he wrote a book that is called GoPro. GoPro is a book that is used by a lot of network marketers. But I believe that this steps that he talks about in the book is something that can be applied in any industry and in any type of business. So Eric Worre talks about the 7 steps of becoming a professional in network marketing. And in Africa, we also have influencers like Hannah Pinza. She's somebody that I know that is actually teaching a lot of people about social media marketing. So they are giving away their skills for free and their talents to teach people. And I know from her background, she didn't study about social media marketing. She was doing something about that has to do with sciences. But now her passion is about teaching people on social media marketing. Okay, so I also will talk about my sister. She's based in the United States. She studied an MBA in English, but right now I can tell you she's an internet marketer. She does web hosting and she's a graphic designer and she also does social media marketing. So she's actually doing something that is totally different from what she went to school for to get a degree. The next step that I'm going to talk about is finding prospects. Okay, so remember I spoke about knowing your dream client. And when you start understanding who your dream client is, you start finding those type of people and they will also be looking for you. Because when you start posting on social media, you are speaking to the audience, to your niche client. One thing that I can tell you is when you're selling a product or a service or when you're selling your brand, you are not going to speak to the whole world. It's not possible that you're trying to speak to 1 million people and you expect those 1 million people to get into your brand or to buy into your product or to buy into you, into your service. It's not possible. Out of those 1 million people, you need to start speaking directly to your dream client. You need to start saying to yourself, who is my dream client? Why do I want to talk to this dream client, and why do I want to do this business or this product? Until you write those steps down, it's going to be a little bit difficult for you to move on to the next step of defining your audience when it comes to social media marketing. Okay, so the next step that I'm going to talk about is mistakes that we make when we're building a brand on social media. Number one, it's posting pictures only that have to do with the product or your service. All the time, whatever you're posting, like I mentioned, I'm into cryptocurrency. Imagine all the time, whenever I post, I'm saying, join my business, invest in cryptocurrency. This is the right thing to do every single day. And people don't see anything that has to talk about myself, my lifestyle, and what I'm about. It pushes people away. It pushes your audience away. So when you post on social media, it has to be about your lifestyle. Start asking the right questions. What does your audience want to see about your brand or about your business? You need to start asking the right questions. So myself and my sister, that is what we're teaching people, how to build your brand on social media, asking the right questions. It's not always about posting about your product, that join my business, and pushing people away, because when you start doing that, a lot of people run away from you, and they distance themselves away from you. I'm sure there might be people who can relate to this and they've gone through this. I've actually done it myself, but like I said, when I started going for paid coaching and also going for self-development, watching videos and reading books, that's when I realized that, you know what, I was making mistakes. I've learned from my lessons, and this is how I'm building my brand now. Okay, Franklin, Doctor, I don't know if there are any questions right now, or I can still continue.
Yeah, I think you can still continue where you're done. Maybe, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I will help.
So for social media marketing, there are free tools that can help you to get started to build your brand. Like for myself, when I do my posters or flyers, I use an app, a free app that you can download. It's called Canva. We've actually done videos, myself and my sister, online on Facebook, that can teach you how to use those free tools. Because most of the time, some people might say, you know what, I don't know how to post on social media. I don't know how I'm going to create a flyer. There are free graphic tools that anybody can use on social media, and they can use those tools to build posts and to build content. You can also use an app that is called Snapseed. And you can also, even for this type of webinars that we're doing now, when you start marketing your brand or you want to tell your people about what you're doing, there are free apps that are called Zoom. You can also use StreamYard. And these tools actually allow you to record your calls. You can also link them up with YouTube, and you can also link it up with your Facebook or Instagram profiles. So there are a lot of free tools out there that you can start building your tools. If you're somebody that might be saying, I don't have money, how do I start? As long as you have a smartphone or you have a laptop, it's very easy for you to start your social media marketing. You don't have to be an expert in this. You can learn as you go along the way. Okay, so talking about self-development, like I said, you also need, once you start building your brand and now you want to take it to the next level, you also need to start looking for coaches that actually teach you how to sharpen your skills, that they are there to guide you and teach you on the type of, depending on the type of business that you're doing, they can help you to move on to the next level of your business, where now you are looking for prospects that will pay you for your services. You might want to create, you might be thinking, you know what, I know how to teach people how to do, how to cook, and I want to build a program on social media. It doesn't matter these days, whether you know, whatever industry you're in, I can tell you, you can build your brand and you can get paid for it on social media. So you need to get experts that can actually help you to build your brand to the next level. And that part, you obviously have to pay for it, because there's no way for you can become a millionaire and you're still saying, no, I want to use free tools or I want to get things for free. It's not possible if you want to take your business to the next level. So I love what Eric Worre says, that like any profession, you will need to learn some new skills. So every single time you need to be learning, you need to be developing yourself. Things that we were doing 5 years ago, it's not possible that they might be working now, especially the traditional way of doing business. Even whatever we were doing 3 months ago before the crisis, it's not working. So we had to adapt and change the way that we're doing things. Right now, as we are meeting online. People are logged in globally and we can still connect and talk to one another. So the next thing that I'm going to talk about, it's understanding cryptocurrency. Okay, because of limited time, I'm going to shorten this part. So how does cryptocurrency come into this? Remember, we are all building brands, selling a product or a service, or just, you want to be smart about being on social media. So when I started in cryptocurrency, it's about a year and a half ago. And what I've realized is that there are a lot of myths and realities that about understanding cryptocurrency. A lot of people don't have a solid understanding of how cryptocurrency works, and you find that there's an ignorance that comes with it. A lot of people, what I've also discovered is they don't want to research. Whenever something new comes in their space, the first thing that you hear is either, I don't want to hear about it, or it's a scam. I know somebody that did it, so I'm not going to do it. But one thing I also want to tell you is, whenever you're given an opportunity or you're told about something, rather go back and research about it, or ask an expert who is in that industry if this is the proper investment or the proper business for you to go into. So one of the two myths that I'm going to talk about cryptocurrency. One of the myths is that Bitcoin is not a currency that can be used to purchase goods or services, and that cryptocurrency is actually used for illegal deals. So those are two myths. Those are lies. Okay, then I'm going to go into three things that I can tell you that are reality. One of them being that cryptocurrencies, and the one cryptocurrency that everyone knows is Bitcoin. It's a currency. It's a global currency that can be used anywhere in the world. If, for example, if I have cryptocurrency, let's say 1 Bitcoin in my wallet, I can go to China right now and purchase goods worth $10,000 right now in China using my cryptocurrency. It's a fast and secure form of currency, and it can be accepted as a form of payment. So a lot of people are now adapting into cryptocurrency. It's been 10 years since cryptocurrency started. I don't know if anybody has seen that in the Soccer Premier League, one of the teams now is actually being sponsored by a company called eToro. And on their jerseys, they've got the Bitcoin logo. So imagine how many people are watching the Soccer Premiership League and they want to start understanding that, what is that brand? What does B mean? So more and more people are starting to understand what cryptocurrency is and what Bitcoin can do for them. Okay. Another second thing I need to tell you is, like I said, it's cryptocurrency or Bitcoin. It's a global currency. You can use it anywhere in the world. It's decentralized, meaning that it's not controlled by any government or by any one entity. It's a peer-to-peer currency, meaning it's money for you.
Hi, Sandra. I believe you went on mute. Can you unmute yourself?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay. Do you remember where I ended up speaking?
I'm not actually sure about that. You can go ahead. But I think we were listening about how cryptocurrency can be useful and in
Okay. Okay. So we are actually teaching people how you can leverage on cryptocurrency with minimum risk. Because I do understand, like I said, a lot of people that we meet, the first thing they tell you is they are not interested in cryptocurrency because of what they've heard. They've never really researched how cryptocurrency works. So myself and Dr. Franklin, we are in an opportunity that allows you to become a shareholder where you can actually earn daily dividends. So you become a shareholder in this digital currency, and you get paid in cryptocurrency. The second part is that you can build an opportunity where you are now a business owner, and you can be, there's a lot of money that you can actually make from cryptocurrency. So this is just to distract all those myths that you have heard about cryptocurrency. So if you want to understand how to get started right, please do contact myself, or you can contact Dr. Franklin, and we will be able to, to train you and support you and give you all the information that you need. Another thing that I would like to tell you, at 7 p.m. tonight, we have a wealth summit that's going to start at 7 p.m. It's going to be another focus for the next 4 weeks, where we have 7 speakers that are going to be talking about blockchain, cryptocurrency, and a whole lot of other things that can be beneficial to you and everyone out there. So, Dr. Franklin, thank you so much. I think my time is up. Are there any questions?
Thank you so much, Sandra. Thank you for.
Okay. Okay, I see there's a question here that said, what has to be done when you do not get results from social media marketing? And what are the factors which decides good marketing? I think this is from Rashmi, right? So Rashmi, from my own experience is, I don't think there's anything that can decide what is good marketing. The only thing is you'd need to, like I was saying, you need to discover what brand are you trying to build, right? And who is your audience that you're trying to build it for? Because if you're speaking to your audience, you should be able to ask your question that, what does my audience want to see? So I'll give you an example. Most people always struggle to say, I can't find content. The best way to do this, every morning when you're posting, you need to build what is called a conversation starter. So when you build what is called a conversation starter, you can say, like I spoke about the myth on cryptocurrency. I'll be like, what are the 5 myths of cryptocurrency that you've heard about? That's a conversation starter. So you need to just think out of the box. Like, it's not always about me posting about Bitcoin, about cryptocurrency. Like if you go to my page, you might not find you might find 1 or 2 posts, yes, about Bitcoin, but I'm not throwing it out there to my audience for them to always see Bitcoin, I'm making money, or I'm doing this social media marketing. Why should it has to be something personal that speaks to you, that you're passionate about, that when you ask that question, you're having a conversation with your sister or with your brother. That's exactly what I think social media is about. Social media marketing is about. Ask the right questions. I'll give you another example. There's this lady that we just started consulting with my sister. She's into makeup. So we had a discovery call, because another thing you need to offer your audience is what is called a discovery call. So if somebody comes to you and say, you know what, I'm interested in what you're doing. So what do? You set up a meeting with them on a webinar like this one and ask them questions. What do you want? We need to start asking the right questions. You can't be saying to them, this is what I think you should do. We need to ask your client, what do you want? How can I help you to get to where you want to be? So with this lady that does makeup, she was saying she doesn't know what content she needs to post. So the first thing we asked her, we're like, okay, For example, I'm a 9 to 5 working boss mom. I wake up every morning and I put on my makeup, and then when I come home, sometimes maybe I'm tired. I just feel like, you know what? I don't even want to wash my face. But you can't do that. You have to wash your face, or you need to take a bath. So we say to her, write for the next 5 days, write why you should wash your face every night before you go, remove your makeup every night before you go to bed. Because if you don't remove that makeup, your skin is going to be bad. You might have pimples. You know, there are a lot of factor or things that can happen to your face. Bad stuff that can happen to your face if you don't remove that makeup. So these are just examples or ideas that I can give you to say in your industry or in your market, you have to find a niche. How do you talk to your audience? And another thing as well is when you're posting on social media, you need to be consistent. You know, post at least once or twice a day. Don't just post today and then you go away and expect your audience to communicate or interact with you. Because remember, there's something that is called an algorithm on Facebook. So if you don't interact with people, you're going to be down there, and no one is seeing your posts or whatever it is that you're trying to do. I hope I've answered your question.
Daddy Pig, you were sitting on them all the time.
It's on mute now. Can you hear me, Sandra?
Yes, yes, we can hear you. Thank you very much, Sandra. You were lovely, and thank you very much. It's really a pleasure to have you here today. I'm just going to check if there are any other questions. Let me see. Okay, well, as of now, we do not see any questions. So I thank you very much for coming on the stage. Franklin, do you have anything to say?
No, not at the moment. I think it was so clear. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sandra.
Okay, thank you. Thank you
Let's
so
go
much,
back.
guys.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Goodbye.